Welcome. Happy Thursday. This is Max with the RHMax channel. Today we have race car drivers, crew, staff. We have all kinds of people who make the racing happen with Top Cats Racing. This is going to be a fun one. I think it's always fun to get into some of the Hexicans who are in sporting events, who are doing stuff like this, especially getting Hex on the screen, on the TV, on all the pictures, and like really showing people the brand of everything, and just how fun it is to drive this kind of cars. I got to drive one day. Maybe I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, maybe you'll buy a Lambo when you get rich. Maybe you'll buy a Formula One car. Maybe you'll buy a race car of some other sort. That'd be pretty cool, right? Before we bring the gentleman in, we got three coming in. We got Big Paul, Jensen, and Cromwell coming in from the team today. I was talking about FTX. That's what everyone's talking about in the last 2 or 3 days, a couple days ago. And I just wanted to real quick go over, I don't know. For me, I don't do, I'm not on FTX. I'm not on Team FTX at all. I don't have any support. I never use their exchange. I don't have anything going on there. But I don't know. I don't do personal attacks on social media, even if they're celebrities, even if they're billionaires. I don't know. I just feel like it's cheap a lot of times. And everyone, I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm not telling, you can go do all the stuff you want to, but I really want, it's only been 3 days. I really want to see the facts come out about this, so I'm able to reason about it. And I just think, I don't know. I hate to call it mob justice, but it's just I don't know. It just doesn't feel good to be like, oh, Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, they're the devil and all this stuff. I don't know. I think I definitely feel for people who are losing money for it. It seems like mostly the big investors right now, Sequoia and all the people like that. But he's just a guy. SBF is just a guy. He just screwed up. And he's not pure evil. It's I don't want to be the first one to be right by shouting oh, they're insolvent and all this stuff, but I don't want to be the first one to be wrong either. So it's just, I don't know. It's, you're going to see most, a lot of other people on Twitter and YouTube, they're just chomping on the bones of FTX and all that stuff. You're not going to get that from me. I'm going to, maybe I'll wait a month or two. I'll wait a few weeks and be like, okay, let the dust clear, let the courts handle this. And then we'll figure out what actually happened, who's at fault, who is irresponsible, who is supposed to be accountable, all that stuff. So he reminds me of a teacher I'll never forget in school told me once, I said, she asked me to answer some question and then I answered it and she told me I was wrong. And I was like, well, I assumed blah, blah, blah. And I never forget, she came over to me and said, you know what assuming does? It makes an ass out of you and me. That stuck with me. And I was like, you know what? I should not jump to conclusions very often. I should wait till all the data comes out and then make an informed decision. So until then, it's been 3 days, everyone. I'm not putting them in the camp of Do Kwon and Machinsky and BitConnect. I'm not calling FTX Connect. I'm not calling it yet. I mean, actually might happen, but he's just a guy. And I think whether you agree with his principles or not, whether you agree with the stuff he did, I'm not chewing on his bones right now. I'm not doing it until I get some more facts. So just want to throw it out there. Yeah, it's not everyone. I'm not defending them in any way, by the way. I'm just saying I'm going to give it some time before I start forming a conclusion around it. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So without further ado, and I'll say how to chat in a minute, but welcome Big Paul, Jensen, and Cromwell. How's it going, everyone?
Hi. Yeah, good.
Very good, thanks.
Yeah. All good.
We basically already did the interview in the green room for the past 15 minutes, but you get to rehash some of it. You get to come out firing. You've already practiced what you're going to say, right? You know exactly how to nail it now, right? Everyone,
yeah,
except Cromwell. He doesn't know how to nail it yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I haven't got a clue what went wrong there. But
hey, no worries.
Technology has a way of biting you sometimes.
If it's not StreamYard's messing you up, it's your own computer. I hear you. I stream a lot, and I've had every kind of situation. I've had the internet go out in the middle of the stream, and I've had to switch to backup internet. I've had everything happen, so no worries at all. Glad you're here. Glad you all could make it, and yeah, let's do that real quick too. Let's maybe we'll start with Big Paul. Go to Cromwell and Jensen. Just briefly tell everyone who you are, how'd you what part of Top Cats you're in, and what you do and all that stuff.
Hi guys. Well, most of you know me as Big Paul. I've been with Top Cats team for 18 years about. It's not my main job. I'm actually an engineer for Jaguar Land Rover, but I've been with the guys, like I said, 18 years. I started cleaning wheels, refueling the car, and slowly worked my way up through the team to lead engineer. So that involves managing the car, the other guys in the team, making sure the drivers are happy, even guests are happy. It's organising everything really, and more so the radio man. So if you sort of watch Formula One, the guys sit on the pit wall with the headsets on. That's me. That's what I do when the race is on. And between the race, I just make sure everything. I'm like the grease with all the between the cogs and it's definitely got some rough cogs in Top Cats. And I just let's try and bring everybody together and keep a harmony, so we say. So yeah,
that's awesome. And Cromwell.
I'll have to pick Paul up on a couple of things there. Paul is also he's being very modest there. He's also an absolute stellar strategist when the race is running. The watcher on the wall who calls when the best time to make a pit stop is.
I'm rewatching Game of Thrones for the third time right now, so that watcher on the wall reference, it hits me right here. I get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just as cold.
It gets pretty cold in that show.
It gets cold on the pit wall.
But there it is. Yeah, there is this sort of multi-dimensional sort of picture going on where, somebody like Paul is managing a crew in the garage. He's watching not only his car circulating, but having to see all of the others and building this multi-dimensional picture to make the right calls at the right times, and that's quite a task. Way easier than mine, which is usually stuck at the back of the pit garage, sort of orchestrating some computer systems and maybe live streaming on Twitch and things like that, and broadly just really enjoying the sort of show and the color and the noise and the crack. Which is really what kind of keeps me coming back all the time is because to be honest with you, everything I do, I could just sit at my terminal at home or somewhere and just do it. But
you want to have that first front row seat to all the races.
If you're not there, you haven't got the vibe. And this year, particularly with all the wonderful Hexicans who's been joining us and supporting us, which has been absolutely great.
That's awesome. So you're back there, you're doing, the tech side, streaming, stuff like that. Yeah. Paul's on Paul's like in the driver's ears, trying to help them turn left real good. Always get that. Always have that South Park reference in my mind when you guys see the South Park NASCAR episode.
No.
It's hilarious. Probably as a if you're in racing too, you probably think it's like either sacrilegious or very hilarious. But it's great. So they're always talking about, they're kind of making fun of drivers, but I think it just means even more when you think about how much goes into it, like how much you need to do to put these races together and to like really drive well. Like driving well is it an art? Is it a science? Like these things are just magic to everyone else.
Yeah,
which is a great segue. Great segue.
That's where I come in. I'm a driver for Top Cats. I've been with Top Cats a few years now. We started off in the Marcus cars. That's when I first met Paul, and I've been driving with them for a few years now. And obviously, the last season we brought in the Lamborghinis with the HEX branding. Yeah, I think my job's actually the easiest job of the weekend. I get to have all the fun, and these guys do all the work to make it happen. I mean, there's quite a crew behind us. Obviously, you got Big Paul here now, who's really a pivotal part of the team, puts it all together. But we've got some engineers, some software engineers that work with Cromwell. We've obviously got the other drivers as well, and then we've just got the general hands that just help build all the garage, get all the cars ready, get all the wheels cleaned, all the tyres fitted. Everybody in the team does an awesome job, and especially this year, that's why we won the championship. So it's a good team to drive for. But yeah, sometimes at weekends I feel that I've actually got the easiest job as a driver. I just go out and have some fun and try and bring it home in P1 if I can. So, but it is a team effort. and that's what I love about this sport. You can't, if you're a great driver but you've got the wrong crew, you're not going to win. And you can be a great crew and you've not got the right driver, you're not going to win. So everything has to come together. And we've managed to do that this year. We had some success in the Marcus cars, but we knew that we wanted to step up, and with Cromwell introducing HEX to us as well, we knew that we needed to be front running and we needed to be a winning team to do the brand justice. So we brought the Lamborghinis in and we went and did it, and we're now 2022 GTC champions. So we're really proud of the year we've had. Yeah.
Ooh, congrats! Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, really proud. Yeah, really proud. And it's been a tough year as well. We've had seasons together, but this year was extremely tough. And obviously, coming out of the pandemic and everything that was involved with that around the world, we didn't know how it was going to be. We didn't know whether people were going to start coming back, spectators and guests of ours. So we didn't know what was going to happen there. Turned out that was awesome. We had such amazing support this year. So many Hexicans have actually come trackside and joined us, in the pit lane. So that was good. And obviously we didn't know how competitive the cars were going to be. We believed that the Super Trofeo Lamborghini Hurricanes were the right cars. And we thought we had the right lineup of drivers, but you just never know until round one. And I think we won 2 or 3 of the first races in the first weekend. So it was promising from the start. But what a year. Awesome year this year.
Yeah, I want to rewind to in a minute just to talk about some of the events that happened, and as well as pull up some of the pictures. I'll just say hi to the chat real quick. Charlotte Birch is in the house. Hi, Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte.
How are you?
A lot of fans of Dan here. A lot of people saying hi, Dan. Dan is the brains of the operation. It sounds like a lot of it, at least.
Dan is he does a lot of the data from the cars. So he works with companies like Motec, and he can download all of the data from the cars. So it's pretty cool. Don't know anything.
Very cool. Cannot wait till next season. Yeah, and how many races are there per year? Typically, I guess.
This year there was 7 rounds. So 7 different venues over the course of the year. Normally we have 4 races over per round. I think Alton Park was just 1 race.
2 races.
2 races, yeah. So, but normally we have 4 every round. So it's a lot of rounds. There's a lot of racing. A lot of qualifying sessions, and the races are split over a weekend. So we get 2 25-minute sprint races where a driver will do the whole race on themselves, by themselves. And then we have a driver change race as well, which is 50 minutes long, where we do a pit stop and we change drivers halfway through. So again, it's a real team effort. And again, this is where Paul comes in with his strategy, depending on what drivers are in other cars, which drivers compete well together. It's a big season. I think next year is the same again. Next year, 2023 is 7 rounds. On average 4 races at each round. So it's a big season. It's a big undertaking to complete the whole thing, and we never missed a single race start in either car this year. So that's a big, big up to the team to keep the cars reliable and keep them on point all year, because they go through hell. Cars, they really do. And we did
a good team.
Yeah, we didn't miss a start, did we, Paul? Not one start.
No, I mean, the Top Cats team is very lucky, really. I mean, there's a core of us 5 guys that have worked together for quite a few years now, and we all got an individual skill that we just know when to step in, to step out, and it works so well. We can basically work with our eyes shut, and everyone knows what they're doing. We haven't got to sort of leave it. So that helps massively. Look at some of the other teams up the pit lane. They're running. They probably got 15, 20 people running the same amount of cars. I think, what do they all do all day? So we just like it as we got it, and we work really well. I think that flows well with. It makes life easier, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's indicative of a group of, I don't know, perhaps unusual people that come together, and when they do, they just punch so far above their weight. And I love that sort of parallel with the HEX system, because it's this relatively small community that really has got some punch behind it, and some going.
Yeah, we want to win,
And,
basically.
Yeah, we Hexicans, we live to win. That's true.
Yeah.
And maybe talk about that for a second too. Like, why? How did the Hex come about? With the racing, and people are probably wondering, like, is it a sponsorship? Is it a partnership? Like, what kind of how is Hex involved with Top Cats?
Do you want me to do that one?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Jensen and I have been racing in different sort of contexts for quite a few years, and we'd been with Top Cats a little while. I'm an OG Hexican, and it was around about this time last year, maybe a little bit more. I was talking to 4 other Hexicans, saying, "Look, I'm working with these guys. We have this Lamborghini, and I think it should have Hexicans on the car." They were like, "Oh yes, most definitely. And what would it take?" Now, all 5 of us at the time were very much lurkers. We tend to just sit in the background, never dox ourselves, and all the rest of it. And they turned around to me and said, "Look, if we're going to do this, you're going to have to be the one, as in me, that's going to that's going to have to show your face and be the the bridge. That they don't want to sort of come out into the public view." I was sort of like, okay, fair enough. So personally, it was a bit of a wrench for me. So we're doing something like a YouTube live stream or even go on Telegram or something, just wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for this. But anyway, so we approached the team and basically said, what would it take to livery this car up and what have you. And we talked about it's essentially just paying money in a normal sort of sponsorship context, either literally in pound sterling, or if they wanted crypto, do you want stable coins, or do you want a hex? But we asked if they wanted hex, that we'd rather they didn't market sell it. Do you actually need to spend this money or not to make this work? And they were like, well, no, okay. We're reasonably well funded and what have you. What's the deal? So we then sort of go into a sort of an on-ramping sort of process, really. And they took hex and they staked hex for 1,500 days.
Nice. Okay.
And I think it was Hexican Girl who quoted, "No hex was harmed in the running of these cars." So it's not a flex.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, just over 4 years. That's a lot longer than most people. It's not 15. It's not the 6.5 year average or something right now. But hey, 4.5 years. A lot of people are just taking for a year or 6 months or 18 months. So 4 years. That's you're well above a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny thing with the racing game, because it's always generally a quest to raise money to turn the wheels and things, and it's usually fairly short term. So it's almost, if you're in a business, it's almost like having a startup business every year, almost. And basically this is what we use the sort of winter time for, to go around and gather support and sponsorship and finance and all the things that you tend to need. So I think, back a year ago, we, Hex, if you like, was a relative latecomer to the party with a bit of an extraordinary circumstance, sort of something a little bit unusual. But once we'd sort of reached out to the UK community, they were just all in. It looks absolutely fantastic. And we've just had most wonderful support from all of them. We really have.
I love our UK Hexicans. They're awesome. They are a vibrant bunch. Like they're all over the place. So they definitely make a lot of cool stuff happen for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to meet a lot of them this year as well. I was new to Hex this year, and I think Paul was as well. We're both Hexicans now. I think all the team are Hexicans now, but we've we've met a lot of these guys and gals this year that have come to the races and seen what we do close up, and seen how we've been really pushing the Hex name on the cars, and and of course a lot of these guys have got their own sort of socials and do their own streaming and stuff. So we've got I think we generated a lot of exposure, but a lot of that hasn't been we couldn't have done it without them. And it's been great. I've made so many new friends this year, and I've been racing over 30 years, and I've raced with different sponsors and different cars, different teams, and you tend to find a normal sponsorship arrangement is that you get a company to back you, you put their name on the car, and they're looking to get some advertising and maybe some tickets to a race, for them or their employees. And this whole community is completely different. This is, it's in everybody's interests to on-ramp, new people and get more people to join the community. And I've not seen any negative at any race at all this year. It's all been positive. Okay, there's a bear market going on, we know that, but everybody's is upbeat, everyone's positive, everybody's, you need to join in if you're not, or even if you're a no coiner, we'll show you how to do it. It's easy. So it's been awesome this year. It's been a learning curve for me, and I know a lot of the people that have been involved with the team, and a whole different way to go racing. But I think one thing that we did was very clear from the onset is that the HEX brand is associated with success. And I think if we had just made up the numbers this year and we'd, been running around at the back of the grid and
not qualify,
we knew that we had to give it our all this year. And, even despite, a couple of dark things that happened this year, we did it, and I think we did the brand justice.
Yes. You've been the shining light of HEX sponsorships this year. I'll say that, or HEX, related sporting event stuff. It's HEX NASCAR, which I still love HEX NASCAR stuff. It just we didn't do very well in the races, or as well as everyone hoped at least. And then we had the soccer team sponsorship for like a week.
Yeah.
So you guys are holding up you're holding the bar. You're holding it up there for us.
We're doing our bit. Yeah, we're doing our bit. So it's been a great year, and I think we just made all the right calls. We made all the right decisions on the right cars, the right drivers. But just the support we've had this year has been great. It's been really great, and just to see these people trackside, people that have flown over from different countries to come and join us for a race weekend, and it's just so cool. Really, really cool. So we've really enjoyed it, and now we're big into talks and plans for what we want to do next year. Because that's not far away now. It's going to soon be here.
I think you'll have a lot of people visiting more too, especially Richard Hart's opening that museum at some point. It could be in the UK, it could be in Europe somewhere. We don't know exactly where yet, but that's going to bring a lot of people traveling, at least from the US over there, maybe from Asia too. And hey, would you want to stop by and see a race and hang out with Top Cats? That'd be a great plan.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's been a good year.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna bring up the photos so we can get into that a bit. Where should I start here?
Oh wow! Right, okay. Well, dive in, Max. There's loads of lovely content there.
Yeah, no, you shared the whole thing here, so it looks like should I go to? Where should I start? What do you think?
Well, just click into any of those JPEGs, and I expect you can just roll them forward with a bit of luck.
Okay,
there we go.
That's good. Oh, that's a great rear end. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a pretty little thing, isn't she? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the Ginetta, which was the car. That's the car we've replaced one of the Lamborghinis with this year that got destroyed at Silverstone. So that was a last minute car, but that won 8 races out of 8 entries. So that was a great car. Yeah, that's a Ginetta G55.
And what is this? Are there certain cars that, and I'm sure we'll get into seeing the different ones, but are there ones that are like racing all the time, or do you kind of rotate through? And I don't know all the racing lingo and all the car stuff, so help me with the terminology. But like, is there certain cars that you kind of you go through, you cycle them through different races, or how does that work?
Go on, Paul.
No, we'll keep the same cars all season because you register the car into the championship. Unless you have a major issue like we did and the car got destroyed, then you can have a replacement like for like. Or at the time, it was we only had a week to get this car prepped. So literally, we could enter the car number 3, but it had to run in the class that the Ginetta was in. So, which meant we had to shuffle championship points around, and we lost some out that way, but we kept the team championship going as much as we could. So yeah, generally your car's there for the whole season, unless you have a major issue, then you can change your car, which we had to do.
You guys think about Hexicans says should offer a contest to get a ride in one of the cars. Y'all think about that?
That was on the plan, wasn't it, Jensen? You'd have to answer that.
Yeah. I mean, that we actually make reference to that in the documentary that comes out in a couple of weeks for next season. So, because we thought it was about time we started offering some of our supporters some rewards. So yeah, that will be in the documentary.
Yeah. While you brought it up real quick, you want to tell people about the documentary and while I'll go to the next picture and we can kind of just talk about that too.
Yeah, well, the documentary is after every race event, we have Ollie Media produce lots of sort of video reels and footage and photos and things that get released after each weekend. But it's all very polished and it's all very professionally edited. And we wanted to show, because we've had so much support this year, we wanted to show what really goes on, and we wanted to show a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So we put this documentary together. It's going to be coming out in 2 weeks' time, and it covers all the race weekends. It covers all the success that we've had and the podiums and the cars and everything that most people would see. But it goes behind the scenes and shows what all of the crew do in the garages, what it takes to get these cars A, prepared, and B, competitive. It shows what we do as drivers to be competitive. And obviously this year with me getting ill at the start of the season, there's a bit in there about my story, and obviously the crash that we had at Silverstone where Warren was airlifted to hospital. It goes into more detail about the year. It is all consuming for us guys that are involved in this, from the launch at the start of the year, where Mike Brewer came along and unveiled the cars, right through to every podium, every puncture, every row in the garage, all the nitty gritty. That's what the documentary is about. And we thought so many people have joined us this year, trackside, Hexicans, that have enjoyed that part of it that they don't normally see. Hence why we decided to commission this documentary that Ollie Media's putting together. I've seen some edits. Looks really cool. We're 2 weeks away from the final version. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be cool. Yeah. Amazing.
And kind of forgot to ask too, can you just go through maybe like who are the drivers again? Who are the who's part of the team? Just maybe give a shout out to some of those people too who aren't joining us.
Yeah, go on, Paul. You can do that bit, mate.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll start from the top then. We better start at the top, which is Warren and Warren and Charlotte. They are the co-owners of husband and wife Top Cats, and they're also the drivers. They all drive as well. We'll go below that. That's obviously me, and then below that it's there'll be Jensen and Charlotte Birch, who's been with us all season. Jensen's been with us a couple of seasons, and then Sam come in for a couple of races. So they're our drivers. And below that we've got myself and another guy, Darren, who's my equivalent. He runs the other car. So when we run two cars, there's two of us. He does a lot more strategy side of it, data analysis with the drivers. And then we got two main mechanics, Brian and Kez. What Brian doesn't know and can't make with a car is like, you just can't do it. The guy's a genius. He's just amazing. And then you've got young Danny, who's Brian's nephew, and he's really picked up the technical side of it, all the data logging, and he's a really good mechanic as well. So together they're the basis of the team. And as Jensen said, we got a few young guys that come in, apprentices from colleges and stuff. So we give them an opportunity to see what life's like in the real world, because obviously they jump out of college, think, we know everything, and they sort of hit a brick wall, really, and they get a bit starstruck with the cars and stuff. But you got to take the wheat with the chaff. Some are really good, and some it's not really for them. So, but that's the basis of the team.
Yeah, Jensen's striking me as a guy. I can see him in like instead of Top Gun Maverick, we got Top Cats Racing, and he's like the instructor over here. all the new recruits coming out of college, they get in the cars and they just, they wreck or something. It's like, nope. Comes in with that swagger and just teaches them how to do it. That sounds like fun, man. I like this racing stuff. I like it. I'm learning more about it today.
Yeah, no, it is good fun, and it's nice to see. As I say, we had Charlotte Birch with us this year, and she was she'd raced some small tin top cars and Ginetta G40s, but she'd never done anything of any real high level like this. So and I approached her and said, look, we've got a seat that was originally in one of the Marcus cars, and put a deal together with her parents for her to drive with us in the second car. And then obviously in talks with Top Cats, the team, it was agreed that another Lamborghini would be brought in. So she kind of got thrust into the limelight really and became a GT Lamborghini driver overnight. And wow. It's been a tough year for her. We're extremely proud of how well she's coped with that. The Lamborghinis are incredible cars. They're very daunting when you first get in there. They're very capable, and she had not even got close to driving anything like it. So she's had a really steep learning curve this year. But it's been great to see. I do this for fun. I do it for enjoyment, as does Warren. We've been racing 30 years. We're not going to be, on the Formula One grid anytime soon. We do it for the pure pleasure of doing it. But young Charlotte is at the start of her career, and she could make a career from this. So it's enjoyable to see that, and hopefully maybe, when I'm an old man and I'm watching it all on TV, maybe I'll be able to see her in some championship given at large, and be proud to have been a part of that. So I do enjoy that side of things, and she's been really, really active on social media as well. Sort of promoting, HEX and the car and the team and what we've been doing. So yeah, she's been an asset. She's been an asset this year, and I don't regret giving her that opportunity, not at all. And that's another picture of the Ginetta there. There's got to be some Lambo pictures.
Yeah, we seem to be bigging up on the Ginetta at the moment.
Yeah. It looks good though. It looks good.
It's a pretty little car, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask too. Like, what types of cars? You mentioned Lambo, Ginetta, things like what are the? I know there's different kinds of race cars, but like, which cars are the ones that you all race?
Well, they're all GT cars, but there's lots of in the championship. There's Aston Martins, there's Ferrari, there's Porsche, obviously. There's lots of different brands, BMW, and obviously we've got the Lamborghinis and the Ginettas as well. McLaren.
I'm going to ask some very stupid questions so I can learn and everyone else can learn who doesn't know much about racing. What is a GT car?
Okay, so the spirit of GT racing is basically they're dream cars, the sort of things we might occasionally see on the streets, but you don't see them that often.
I heard McLaren mentioned.
Yeah, modified for racing, basically. So yeah. Spectacular, rather expensive machines that perhaps many of us aspire to have or to drive, but modified for racing, and that really is the spirit of what underpins it. All these, different magnificent sort of brands.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, the Lamborghinis that we've got, they're based on the Lamborghini Huracan, which is a road car. But these are the Super Trofeo versions. So they are the interior is stripped out. They run lower. We run, big air boxes, and we run a full roll cage, a built-in fire extinguisher system, upgraded brakes. All the bodywork's carbon fiber to reduce weight. We run a slightly different aero package. So they're all based on what would effectively there's Charlotte Birch.
Yeah, sorry. I'll wait before we finish on this before we go on. I didn't know which one was next. So.
Yeah, that's okay. So they're all effectively based on the road going car that you can go to your dealership if you can afford it to buy, but they're heavily modified for what we do. If you took a Super Trofeo Lamborghini. A Lamborghini Huracan road car and put it on track against ours, we would be considerably faster. So, but then you wouldn't want to take one of our cars up to the supermarket either. So, yeah, Cromwell's absolutely spot on. They are effectively supercars that are heavily modified for motor racing. Yeah.
God, that's cool.
Yeah. You're gonna have to bring the Charlotte picture up now.
I know. It's
Watching.
people
I know
waiting.
she's watching, and she's going to be embarrassed,
Yeah.
even though she's.
we'll embarrass Charlotte
Yeah.
there with her.
She may still be on the chat.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
so is she the youngest driver, right?
Yeah.
By far, I imagine. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty much.
She's 19. I think she's 19.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she looks 39 in that picture, but
She knew we were going to bring it up.
She'll message me later.
Yeah. And then who's this gentleman?
Who's this? This is young Danny.
Okay.
Who's the mechanic
cars, it looks like.
and data tech. Yeah. There you go. So you can see that we do a little bit of. There's always a little bit of horseplay going on in the paddock and the pit lane.
Yeah. That's you can see the Lamborghini in the background there. That's Danny being Danny. That's probably either early morning or late in the evening. Probably late in the evening, but look at that. So there's been a few too many beers before that picture was taken. And that's at Snetterton in Norfolk. Yeah.
Wow. You gotta love the sunset in the background too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's early in the morning. You guys probably get up pretty early to do this stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drivers don't. No, we have a lay-in and a breakfast.
Nice.
Normally get up and drive for a week.
Racing, you want to be a driver. Sounds like you're making them sound real cool now.
Yeah.
The
by
best
the
job.
guys have been up for a long time. So
yeah. What I guess that's a good question too. What are the downsides of being a driver? Like, what is stuff you have to eat? Stuff you don't like to do that no one else has to do.
Yeah, the cost mainly.
Okay.
It's your wallet.
Very expensive. Wow. A downside, I love the sport. I don't see any downside. I love the sport. Sometimes it's tricky if you're having a bad weekend, and Paul will tell you I've had many. So especially with the racing we do, when there's two drivers, there's nothing more difficult. There's nothing mentally if the other driver is considerably quicker than you on that weekend, and you just can't figure out why. That sometimes is a difficult thing. You've got the same car, the same setup, and for some reason you're a second, which is a mile in our sport, a second slower than the other guy. This is where Cromwell and Danny and Darren come in, because we can overlay the data and we can see where the other guy's braking or what gear he's in, and we can try and figure out why that is. I've been quite fortunate with the driver Warren that I drive with. We're normally pretty close to each other, so we don't tend to get that sort of thing happen, but it can happen. That would be the only downside, I would say. If you've got a teammate that's quick and is constantly pushing you, sometimes that's frustrating when you just can't deliver the times that they can in the same car. Outside of that, I think I love it all. It's all good fun.
Yeah. So say for the young people too that are they're going to college, that maybe they're trying to figure out what they want to do. They want to do some kind of racing, but they don't know which role they want to do. Engineering? Do they want to do mechanics? Do they want to do driving? Is it just different personalities kind of gravitate towards different ones, or different? Is it just kind of just what they want to do? Or I think obviously, sounds like the sexiest thing is always driving. Like all the movies are about the drivers, right? They're always, driving is the most fast, exciting thing. But I don't know. Big Paul seems like he's having a lot of fun on that side too. So like, how does that play into what people choose to do?
That's a good one, isn't it?
Well, for me,
you wouldn't get me in one. Horrible, noisy, smelly things.
I'm not built. I'm more of a rugby player than a driver. But to be fair, there's some bigger drivers than me driving in GT cars.
Okay.
There's some big lads climbing out of these cars. Yeah, I mean, I've always liked motorsport going back in the day, and always had a passion for cars and my own cars, and I've had all sorts of different cars. And an opportunity arose that I could help on a 24-hour race with a team about 18 years ago, and that's how it started for me, really. And that passion must have impressed so much. So I'm still here now, so along with a couple of other guys, the Darren and Kez and Danny. So yeah, it's just we have a good time. We're plenty of beer. We go out for a meal. We work hard and we play hard, I think, and it's done us well for the last so many years. And yeah, if you can fit in with us, and then yeah, it's good. We all enjoy it.
I think there are a lot of young people coming into the sport now. There's lots of motorsport academies and colleges in the UK, which is really good. There's a lot more females in the sport than there's ever been. So I think the sport is going the right way. I think there's going to be quite a lot that evolves over the next few years with motorsport. But I think generally that there's lots of females in the sport. There's lots of and there's lots of young people coming through. I think a lot of the young lads and girls, they automatically just want to be racing drivers, and I get why that is. But there's so much more involved than being a racing driver. You need to be funded. You need to have sponsorship. You need to have backing. It's very expensive. Very expensive. And I think a lot of the young drivers that are coming through believe that they can get themselves onto a stage where they'll be seen just based on their talent. And sadly, that's not how motorsport works. You need to have the funding to be able to do that, and then to show how good you are. And there are a lot of very well-funded young drivers coming through that have rich parents, or they have companies that are backing them, but they're just not very good drivers. And then we see the other side, where we see fantastic drivers. I mean, young Sam Randon and Charlotte this year, great drivers, but they're not backed by huge, companies or rich parents. And it's a difficult sport, a really difficult sport to get into. And I often think that maybe some of these youngsters should go more down the engineering route, where they become part of a team, an engineer, and they learn about the sport. And that's where a lot of these colleges and universities are now pitching these young guys coming through, which is great. It's there's a lot of youngsters up and down the pit lane now that are hoping maybe to drive one day and get more involved. But for now, they're working on the cars, and they're helping the teams, at the weekends, preparing, and just being there, and taking the atmosphere in. So I think the sport in the UK at the moment, motorsport, is in good shape. I think it's in really good shape, and I think there's some challenges ahead over the next few years, but I can only see it, getting better. We've seen some record grids this year in GT Cup, as I know some of the other championships have as well. And in a time where, finances aren't as easy as they've been, that's great. It's a testament to how resilient this sport is. I don't plan to go anywhere for quite a while yet.
It definitely takes everyone to be at the top of their game. I think I come from an engineering type background too. Obviously not in cars, but on the other side, computer engineering side. And I think if I was going to do it, that would fascinate me the most. Just seeing, you talked about the cars being modified, and that's cool to me. I mean, of course, everybody wants to drive every once in a while, but it's like, I think I would be on the engineering side too, just to make these beasts. That sounds super fun.
Yeah. And the software and the technology in these cars now, especially with the Lamborghinis, as soon as the car comes in, before anybody's checked the oil or put some fuel in or kicked the tires, the laptop man's in there downloading the car. And with these downloads, we can see throttle traces, we can see all the engine parameters, gears and speed, and there's so much data. So initially they're checking to make sure the car's okay and there's not a fault developing. And quite often, the Top Cats guys are fantastic at this. They'll see a fault or they'll see a problem before it actually materializes. So maybe we've got an engine sensor failing. We had cam sensor issues on the Lamborghini. On the Lamborghinis, and Danny spotted it before it got to a race finishing incident. Warren was, talking to the Lamborghini guys, parts we needed, and the problem was fixed before it even arrived. And then on the next side of the data, we'll look at it as drivers to look at where we can increase our lap times, decrease our lap times and increase our speed. The cars all run GPS, so the car knows where it is on the circuit at any time.
Wow.
So they're very high-tech pieces of kit. And so being an engineer in a team like Top Cats is, this. Not only are you there and having the fun of being involved in an actual GT racing team and all of the enjoyment that goes with that, but it's constantly learning. New skills, constantly learning. So I think it's a good thing.
I think even the engineers get to drive maybe after hours. Sometimes they get to like take a loop or something, right?
Well, the cars have to go up for noise testing before a weekend starts.
Okay.
We also have to go up to the weighbridge and to get the cars weighed and things. So yeah, the engineers get to drive the cars, to and from that.
There we go. Hear that, future engineers? You get to drive a little bit. Let you drive a little bit.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions in the chat. When are Top Cats doing the 24-hour family race?
I think it's when there's a date coming out soon for next year. There's a race next year I think it's beginning of May, and it depends on Remy, Warren and Charlotte's youngest child. He needs to be 16 to get his license. So depends on when his birthday's at the end of April, I think, or beginning of May. So those dates are really close. So hopefully the race date is just after his birthday. So that's all I know on that. Unless Warren in the chat says anything different, but I think that's right. They haven't released the date yet for that.
Warren also wants to see his picture at some point. He's asked about that.
Yeah. We've got a few pictures of Warren.
Okay. Picture.
Right, okay. I probably can answer this one. Is there any lap gates? The trouble is, because it's running a GT Challenge class, we can't actually make any changes to the car. We can adjust the wings, change the tyre pressures, little minor things like that, but actually doing any, because the car's restricted, it should be a lot faster. So we run in air restrictors to reduce the performance. It's got a raised ride height, so it's higher off the road. And it carries a lot of weight. Because it's so fast against the other Ferraris and bits and pieces, we have to be really handicapped to make the racing good, makes it more competitive. So yeah, we would like to upgrade it to GT3 cars, obviously, but as Warren said in the chat. But yeah, we can't really do a lot of hands are tied.
Warren said, swap PulseChain, swap it for a GT3 Lambo. I'm sure there will be some people who swap some PulseChain for a Lambo. That's true.
Not at the current prices.
Yeah. Well, we gotta wait some time. We gotta let Richard get it on the market and give it some time to figure out a good market price. But so hopefully people aren't selling on day one. Not financial advice, but when Le Mans Hex car,
or when possible? Hex goes to about $200, I should think. Is a lot of money.
That's there's gonna be a lot of things enabled if Hex goes to $200, sir. There'll be lots of things. Nice. Okay, I'll go through the pic. Is there a specific? I've been kind of just going through a couple at a time. Do you all want to talk about anything with the cars or any specific pictures that are more interesting than others? Warren's photos at some point.
We're going to do Warren in a minute. Beautiful
cars, beautiful.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I mean, the design that we did on the car, we knew that we wanted something to stand out. So the remit we gave to the designers right at the start was whatever you do, these are the colours, this is the branding, do your thing and come back with some designs, but they need to be radical designs. We want them to stand out.
Yes. And
they came back with 4 or 5 designs, and it was the very first one they came back with for the Lambo. And it was like perfect, absolutely perfect.
I love
and you may find some pictures further on where you can get closer in, and they've actually, even the yellow at the front is all, it's all in hexagon. There's all hexagon shapes, and
I see it. Wow, that is so cool. I love the front side there.
Yeah,
amazing.
So designs have been great, and obviously they did a last minute one for us on the Ginetta as well down the left when we had to replace one of the Lamborghinis, because obviously we started the season with 2 Lamborghinis. And the other one's still in the sick bay, but the design was just awesome. And I think our very first race at Donington Park, the commentators on TV said that without a doubt, without wishing to sound too biased, they were the best looking cars on the grid, and they just stand out. With the colour scheme. So yeah, they just look really cool, don't they?
Yeah, even the back with the the honeycomb is one thing, but I love the hex symbol on the what do you call that, fin?
Yeah, on the rear wing. That's on the
rear
wing.
Yeah, amazing.
And we've carried the PulseChain on the cars, the PulseChain logo this year as well.
I love
it. Yeah, it does work really well. When you're scrolling through these pictures, we can't be responsible for what you might see.
Is that a Warren reference?
Yeah, we haven't preempted this.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what might be coming up.
I don't monetize the channel, so I'm not going to lose any money anyways. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah,
I
so
love that so much.
it's really cool on that. Yeah.
Mm.
And the team did great with that car because they only had obviously we got that car after the Lamborghini crash at Silverstone, and the team got that car literally a week before we took it to I think Donington. Yeah. So we were like, well, here's the car. Hopefully it's all okay. And they went right through it and did what Top Cats do, and produced a race winning car that won the first 4 races out of the blocks. So it's actually been a good car. And the Ginetta G55 is a very popular car in the UK for racing. So because of that, there's a lot of them that come up for sale, and a lot of them that aren't very good. So you can really buy a terrible car if you're not careful. But that one turned out to be a good car. And obviously Top Cats did their thing, and it's now a race winning car. So we're really happy with that, especially being last minute. That's normally when things go wrong.
Well, yeah, I could tell. Ooh, yeah, you could catch the back of that one too.
Yeah.
Even the wow, just I can't believe you can make a design a gradient flow that well, kind of fade into it.
Yeah,
just excellent job on the cars. Yeah,
and the company we use to put the wraps on, I mean, they've worked for us for a long time now, and they're very good.
Yes, they are.
Especially with the Lamborghini, so there's 2 different cars there. The Lamborghini is very angular, very sort of. There's lots of fins and scoops, and the Ginetta is very rounded. So to make it work on both cars, to make them look like sister cars, was a great job. And again, last minute. So
Ginetta G55 GTC is 500 BHO.
No, 55. I think 55 is just the model. I think they brought out.
I think it's about 320, 50, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a V6. So. It's a Ford V6 engine, actually.
Yeah.
Basic to the engine.
Yeah, the 55 is just the model number that Ginetta give it, because I think they do a G40, a G45, a G50, a G55, which we have. I think they do a G56 as well. Which has got an LS engine in. Just different model numbers. That's all that is. Yeah.
Gotcha. Ooh, that looks cool.
Yeah, that's good enough. That's a Snetterton. Yeah.
That's nice. Wow. Okay.
I think a lot of these are taken by Ollie Media. He's a fantastic photographer.
Yeah, these are all Ollie's pictures. Yeah.
Shout out to Ollie.
He just knows how to capture it. He just sees a moment and he's there with his camera. Sometimes inappropriate as well, but there you go. That's a good shot. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, look at the front.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great looking cars, aren't they?
They are. Well, I just eye candy, man. Eye candy. Lots of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the amount of pictures that have been taken of these cars this year. What other files do you have there? Do you have Brands Hatch there as well? Because the brand.
I was scrolling through these. I think we're about at the end, and then there's a couple. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, this gentleman looks familiar.
There you go. Yeah, yours truly peering at one of the LCDs. Waiting for something to boot up there, I expect, knowing me.
Oh, there you
go. The camera's not working again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's in our because obviously 2-car team, so that's in the pit garage at. That's still Snetterton.
It'll all be
Snetterton.
This folder, yeah.
It's got a nice shine to that car. Yeah, it's got a nice shine.
Considering that's done a season, it's lasted really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can start to look a bit beaten up normally by the end of the year, but it's got a lovely shine to it. Yeah. And we're going to run a similar design on the cars next year. Maybe a few tweaks. Maybe we'll sort of have the PulseChain a bit larger on the cars.
Okay.
I mean, obviously HEX was the dominant feature on these cars, and you'll see in various points on the bonnet and then on the doors where the PulseChain logo was. So maybe we'll sort of switch that around a bit, and we'll sort of brand up the we'll push the pulse thing.
Push the pulse.
Push the pulse. Yeah. But obviously still with the same color scheme. We did toy with the idea of inverting the colors. So have the gold at the back maybe.
Oh,
And go, sort of start with a sort of pinky purple at the front and spread. We may, we'll have a look. We might put a poll out actually with some designs.
I don't know. I like the light to dark as far as the front.
Yeah, me
I mean,
too.
just personally, but I don't know. I mean, it can't look bad. I'll say that it can't look bad.
No. I think you're right. I do like the design.
But that's just when I look at it. I'm not a designer in any way, shape, or form. It's just when I look at something, I always like to see like the light to dark kind of tone. But
yeah, it works well. Yeah, it works really well.
so who are these? Who's this gentleman?
That's Darren.
Yeah. Vodka Child, he's in the chat. He's the team stalwart. He's a main man as well.
All right.
Yeah,
It
so
looks like he's in control here.
Yeah, he's worked with Charlotte Gilbert and Charlotte Birch this year on the other Lamborghini, and obviously in the Ginetta as well. He's similar to work that what Paul does. So he's obviously got his headset on there talking to the drivers. He does a lot of strategy on the other car as well, and he pretty much does a bit of everything. But really nice guy, very knowledgeable. I don't know how long has he been with Top Cats, Paul? Quite a while.
Nearly 20 years. He's the longest. Him and Brian are the longest too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a part timer.
Just a part. So you're the newbie.
Yeah. I was what am I? I was like 16, 18 years, something like that. Yeah. 18. Be 18. Wow. Yeah. Darren's 20. Yeah. Darren's 20 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, that's another one.
Oh, look at
legend. Yeah. Wow. some hanger
legendary
on
stance. That's a hashtag winning stance right there. It's a hashtag.
That's only for you. He's just there with his camera all the bloody time.
Ollie always is. Yeah.
So. Oof, this is a nice one. This looks like the start of a movie or a documentary.
Yeah, may well be. So you can see the tire blankets there because obviously we run tire warmers on these cars. The tires are designed to work at an optimum pressure and temperature because we run fairly low pressures compared to what you would run in road tires. As the tires warm up and the air inside the tire warms up, the pressure builds. So one of the things that Darren does and Paul does is we'll go out on track, we'll get the tires hot, we'll bring the car back in, and then they'll reset the pressures to where we need to be so that the tire gives us the optimum grip. And that may be, I think our target on the Pirellis for, let's say, Snetterton was 30 psi. So we'll go out with cold tires at maybe 19 psi. And as the temperature rises in the tire, so does the pressure because the air inside is getting hot. What they then do is then when the cars come in between sessions, they'll use the tyre blankets you can see on the floor there to keep the tyres hot. And then when we go back out, the tyres are ready to go instantly. We haven't got to spend 2 or 3 laps getting tyre warmth back in. So that's what you see. So there you can see the tyre blankets, which keep the whole wheel warm, not just the tyres. The whole wheel warm as well. So yeah, that's what you can see in that picture.
All the preparation that goes into racing. You got to use tire blankets. Never thought of it to be a tire blanket. Wow.
Yeah. And they wrap around the wheel and they plug in and they basically heat up. They're like a heated blanket.
Like a heated blanket, but for
someone did ask the question in the chat, the price of the tires. So they're about £2,000 a set, including tax. That's UK money, and we'll go through 4 or 6 sets per car per weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. And then a couple of.
So you're probably talking average £5,000 a day per car. So that's £10,000 in tyres, and the fuel is what, £4 a litre now, £4.50 race fuel. So and we'll go through probably 200 litres a day of that. So you can do the maths on that at least.
You can't go to the discount tire place and put a $120 set on or anything.
Oh yeah, Warren's got a habit of keeping tires for track day.
16. He says 1660 plus VAT. Wow.
Yeah, looks like he's been on the beer already.
He hasn't. Typo, Warren. Typo, mate.
This is Darren. I'm driving.
He missed the naught off of that. I'm driving. And drinking, I expect.
Well, if it's on private property. At least
it doesn't
totally
matter.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, tires so important for what we do. And the thing is with tyres, they go through heat cycles. So as they don't actually ever wear out. We never wear tyres out. But what we do is we go through heat cycles. And every time you go through a heat cycle, it'll offer up less grip on the next heat cycle. So what Paul and Darren will do is they'll rotate tyres throughout the weekend. And, once they've done a certain amount of getting hot and cooling down, because even in the blankets, they stay hot, but they don't stay as hot as you can get them on track. So they still cool down a little. But obviously, after so many heat cycles, we have to replace them. And, you can find, a second or two a lap on a new set of tyres compared to a set of tyres that's had a heat cycle. So it's a necessity, unfortunately. And that's Sam Randon.
Yeah.
That's Sam Randon being strapped into the Ginetta by Darren. This driver, Sam Randon, that we brought in after Warren's accident. So obviously he wasn't able to drive. So Sam came in to drive alongside Charlotte Birch in the Ginetta, and then Charlotte Gilbert drove with me in the other Lamborghini. So that's Sam with his quite colourful crash helmet.
Yeah, he's got a lot of colors going on there. But kind of matches, kind of hits off the belts here, the safety belts, I guess. Yeah,
that's it. Yes. Was it 6-point harness we run in there? So you're not going anywhere when you're strapped in, which was lucky for Warren, really, at Silverstone.
Have you all seen the movie Talladega Nights?
Yeah.
Is that based on a true story? Is that what actually happens?
Well, if you're do you watch NASCAR? Are you a NASCAR watcher?
Not really. No.
Because there was a race 2 weeks ago. I think it was at Dover, one of the real small circuits.
I've heard it. I know the names and stuff. Yeah.
It was typical. This is the sort of thing that we would do. Actually, it was the safety car come in, and there was a last lap shootout. And it's all on YouTube. You got to search, you do. And the guy and the actual official NASCAR channel has overdubbed the movie with Tom Cruise in it when they like the treacherous turn 4, and basically the guy goes all the way around the outside, crashing against the wall, when he overtakes about 15 cars on the last corner and finishes third. It's just nuts. And I've seen an official version that they overdub the the NASCAR film with that.
Yeah, okay.
They got Tom Cruise in the car. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. It's so funny.
Yeah,
I'm on fire. You are not on fire. That's nothing wrong.
That's it. Yeah, Days of Thunder. That's it. Thank you, Hex.
Days of Thunder. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah,
Days of Thunder
went round the wall on the outside, didn't it?
Yeah. The official NASCAR channel have done. Yeah, they've overdubbed they mixed it with the film. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
I am too paralyzed.
Yeah.
Raised in the hospital. That's one of the classic scenes of that movie. I mean, there's a lot of good scenes, but yeah, I am too paralyzed. Don't you stick that knife in your leg, Ricky Bobby. Don't you do it. He does it.
That would be Warren, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Martinsville. Yeah.
Amazing. And okay, is that
Charlotte Gilbert?
Charlotte
Gilbert.
Oh, yeah. That's the name. There we go.
Yeah, that's Charlotte Gilbert in one of the Lamborghinis.
Team
ready to go out.
Yeah,
she's had a cracking year this year. She's
very good.
She's been so quick all year. Really focused on her driving. She's been pleasure to drive alongside. And obviously I've driven with her at the end of the season because Warren's been recovering. So she's seriously quick.
Yes. Is there a story here? That's right. I'm not on fire. Is there that happens?
Story about bread rolls, but I'm not sure we should bring that up.
That must be. I think I can relate to that. I think it's Darren is Charlotte's main race engineer, like I'm Jensen's, and I'm sure this relates back to the start of the season where they were doing a seat fitting. I don't know. You might have to put in the chat and tell me wrong. And the stuff like the foam all come out. It went everywhere. I don't know if it was burning her back. I know you got hair stuck in it. It was a disaster, but it was sort of. We can laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. Okay. I think that's where that come from.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure Darren will put me right in the chat.
That's funny. Okay. Yeah, funny now. Yeah, at the time it sounds very stressful, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who's this?
That's Sam again.
Sam Randon again. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I was just looking at the steering wheel too. It looks much. Is it just the angle, or is it smaller than a normal wheel? Like
They are quite small. Yeah, they are quite small. Race cars don't tend to have much steering lock from left to right. So the inputs that you make, you would struggle to, you wouldn't make a 3-point turn in a race car. It would be a 5-point turn. It's we don't have, because the speeds are a lot higher. We don't actually need that much movement in the steering rack. So we go with a smaller steering wheel so that you get a greater feel for the steering than you would from a big steering wheel. So, and obviously the inputs that you make are amplified through the steering rack. So yeah, most race cars do tend to have slightly smaller steering wheels than you would get in a road car, for example. And then obviously you can see in that, well, I don't know if you can see in that, but they tend to carry lots of buttons as well for telemetry and radio and other bits and bobs. Most of the controls are on the steering wheel. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just going back to the fire chat. Vodka Child is actually Darren, and he just put me right. It's a personal thing between what tends to happen as well between the race engineer and the driver. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that sort of gets said between the two, and you build up a bond, and you know how far you can sort of push each other. So I can sort of tell Jensen to give him a bit of encouragement, shall we say? In other words, fuck me, mate, you're going too slow. You've got to put your foot down, you know what I mean? Or, back off, save the car, we don't need to chase, lap time's good, that sort of type of thing. So it takes a couple of years and you build up a good bond with the driver and engineer. I think that happens across all motorsport because you can listen into the Formula One guys doing it as well, and their engineers will generally, if the driver moves team, the engineer will follow. So you just build up a rapport.
That makes sense. That's a special relationship. Yeah, you got to have somebody you trust in there that you've been working with for a while that can make you feel. They can tell you what you need to hear at the time.
Exactly. Yeah, we do talk some rubbish just to make the drivers happy.
Hey,
I'm sure it works both ways.
Yeah,
I don't want to give my secrets away.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Light says win documentary. I think 2 weeks has been mentioned. Or is that accurate?
Yeah, I think looking at I've seen some edits. It looks really cool. I think it's definitely going to be in November. I would say 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Looking at where we're at with it now, so I think it's just really they're just sort of polishing off the rough edges now and adding the soundtracks and things. So I think a couple of weeks away. Yeah, a couple of weeks.
You're gonna try to time it with PulseChain launch.
That would be good. Yeah, that would be good.
2 more weeks. It's a meme in the community now because Richard was like, "Oh, 2 more months." All this stuff. And then so when somebody says 2 more weeks for a documentary, we're like, "Yeah, that sounds familiar."
Yeah,
I think.
Should we try and front run the highest of stakes? I don't know.
Man, if November PulseChain launches, Topcast documentary, RH documentary, if all that happens, it's going to be a beautiful November. I am mad at nobody for releasing anything at that point. Don't hold your breath. I'll say that though. Except on the Topcat sounds like it may be happening. So we'll save our excitement for that at least.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good. Yeah. He sounds very popular. Yeah.
He was the new boy in the team, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Nice.
So you can see on the windscreen on that picture at the top it had GTA. This is how they class. We have a class structure in GT Cup. So we have GTO, GT3, GTC, and then we have GTB, H, and A. So there's different classes in the same race. So there's actually sort of 5 or 6 different races going on at the same time. So you can be maybe finish 5th overall, but you've won your class. So that's how the GT Cup Championship works. And you can see with the Ginetta, with Sam sitting in there, that's a GTA car. What was really impressive is that car was almost out-qualified all the cars in the class above it. So we were really pleased with that. So I think the class above it is GTH. Paul, was that right?
Yeah, which is GT4 cars, yeah.
GT4 cars, and Sam was Sam and Charlotte Birch. I mean, I think at one point they had out-qualified all of the cars in the class above, all bar one, I think. So yeah, it's always a good when you're watching the championship, and if you're watching it next year, if you look at the windscreen sunstrip, you can always see there what class that car is in.
Gotcha.
There's normally, I think there's 5 or 6 classes.
Yeah. So I was going to say, if anyone is watching, future reference, if you go YouTube GT Cup, they've got their own channel, and all the races are streamed live, and also they're recorded, so we can basically review our whole season. It's all on their YouTube channel, GT Cup.
Oh, okay.
So, and that explains the guy that does it's a really professional how they do it actually, and they really explain it well. So you can watch our whole season of racing, every race.
Very cool.
On their YouTube channel, yeah.
And what's the YouTube channel called again?
GT Cup.
GT.
Yep.
Yeah.
Warren is asking for his bloody photo.
I'll
tell you what, Max. So if you if you go back up the way somewhere, there's another folder there for Sunday, I think. Yeah, Sunday. And in the race 2 folder, I think will probably be.
Is that all the team ones?
And I think there should be quite a few there, including visitors and all sorts of things going on there with a bit of luck.
Okay.
Yeah, that back there will do. Yeah, I reckon where you were.
Oh, right.
Come down a bit. Come down a bit. Keep coming down. Right, hang on a minute. Right, so I think 2305, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, have a quick look at that one.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure we get the photos you really want everyone to see before we wrap up. Probably wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so.
Sure, yeah. Well, if you just want to cycle through some of these, and I think there was some done after the races had finished.
Yeah, the team photos, yeah.
So that's the sort of the Ginetta being coming into the pits and then going back out again. Similarly for the Lamborghini.
Okay, I'll cycle through a couple of these.
Yeah,
just
there is a really good picture of Warren in a lime green mankini somewhere.
yeah, we've got that. I've got it ready to go, but he keeps saying, "Don't be dev."
I don't think he'd want us to put that up though.
No.
Okay, whatever you all give me, I'll post it up here. Whatever you want.
No, that might get your channel banned actually.
Yeah.
I got 3 strikes, I think.
There he is.
There you go, Warren.
So obviously,
all right. So
left to right, myself. So I'm on the left. Warren's in the middle with Charlotte Birch, and then Darren's on the far side. So in our usual pit wall position.
Yeah,
gotcha. Love it.
Warren's looking pretty good there when you think the injuries that he got at Silverstone. Broken ribs and broken. I think he broke everything. Punctured lung, and he was back on his feet. I think before any of us believed he would be. So, that's a testament to him. Good odds.
It's a good question too. I'll bring up real quick. Is there anything else that Hexicans can do to support Top Cats racing?
There is actually. There's a lot that we're. Everything's going to be in the documentary. We've had so much support from the Hexican community. It's been incredible this year, and not just the people that are visitors as trackside, but people that have put us on their own channels and just promoted what we're doing. It's been great. We've had some financial support as well. So we're going to touch on that in the documentary, where people can give us some support for 2023, because that's where we're at now. We're in discussions with with people and with the team, and deciding on what chassis to run next year, because we want to do everything bigger and better next year. We've had great success this year. We're champions, but next year we want to come out and not only defend the championship title that we now own, we want to do it bigger and better. So we're looking at what cars to run next year. We're looking at what support we've got. So we've wrapped all that up in the documentary. So if any of the Hexicans out there want to help with what we're doing and how we're promoting, Hex and obviously PulseChain for next year, then that'll all be in the documentary. So that's the place to go and find out where they can get involved. And obviously, all really appreciate it. We couldn't do. We are a community ourselves. We couldn't do anything that we do without all the help that we get. So being a part of Hex, which I know is a huge community of people, is pretty special, and hopefully it'll enable us to do things bigger and better next year as well. So it'll all be in the documentary, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, people are asking where can the documentary be seen in November on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Okay, so it should be pretty widely available. Sounds like. Yeah, all of the above. Yeah. Gotcha. Just flip through a few more. Is there any must-see pictures before we go? Just since we're getting to the end here.
I don't think so. No.
This looks pretty cool. I like this angle.
That's cool. Yeah,
that's the sort of view that Paul has, basically, because that's sort of taken from his perch, really, on the wall there.
Out the pit wall. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Actually, Snetterton's a pretty good circuit for pit wall standing. Some circuits like Silverstone, you can't see anything. You just see the car in front of you for about 2 seconds. But Snetterton, you can see quite a bit of the track, so it's actually not a bad place to go.
Yeah. And the pit wall's quite high up at Snetterton as well, isn't it? So the cars come quite close to you there.
Yeah.
Y'all make me want to go to a race now. This is
you'll have to come over, Max.
I think 2023 I may travel some more, and sounds like maybe visiting you all at some point. This is great. Cool. Yeah,
there's always food and drink in the garage. There's always a tea and on, and
a beer.
Always. I think for the Hexicans that have joined us trackside as well, I think most of the spectators, all of the spectators, have to watch the race from outside, from the other side of the fence. But with all of our guests, we always get them tickets to come into the paddock and come into the garages with us to watch the racing from the pit lane and from in the race garage. So, you're not just a spectator. You're a Hexican and you're our guest. You come into the garage where we are and get up close and personal with the cars. And they all get to sit in the cars and get their pictures taken in the car and, meet all the guys like Paul and Danny and all the other great guys in the team. So you're not a spectator as per se. You're not, watching through a fence. You get to do cool things like stand on the pit wall and watch these cars go by just a few feet away.
I'd be happy standing up here, but like if I get to go in the garage and sit in the car,
the whole
happy.
thing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Woo! So fast, it's a blur.
Yeah, they do
that. Wow, that's like a background right there. It's a desktop background.
That's cool, isn't it? Yeah, I like the way they can blur parts of the shot out as well. So that's pretty cool. So I'm guessing this is that's good with the checker flag. Yeah.
Taking the checkered flag. Shout out to Ian and Lisa who took this particular reel of photos. Actually, they've done a lovely job this year.
Well,
INL, Ian and Lisa. There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty good, and I like that. Yeah, I haven't seen some of these actually. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. So are these part of the
That's
actually Dan, right?
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. Next guy, that's Big Kez, lead mechanic, and the young lad in the back is one of our young work experience guys. He's a good lad, Lukey. And the driver's Charlotte. So she had a fantastic race at Snetterton. So she's done she best ever lap times. She's absolutely on fire. And she did the whole Sunday on her own. So she did the whole day, all the qualifying, the first race and the long endurance race. So this is after the endurance race, and she's probably absolutely knackered. quite emotional, I should say.
Yeah, I bet.
But she deserved it.
Yeah.
Got to remake after the documentary. We got to remake Days of Thunder with Jensen, Charlotte Birch, all the drivers out there.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, that's a good picture. That one. Isn't it? Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I hate to stop flipping through, but Wow, because there's a ton more too. But I think you all got some stuff to do today. Well, I guess it's in the evening for you all. So I got some stuff to do today.
7 o'clock. Yeah,
y'all probably relaxing.
Yeah, 7 o'clock in the. There's tons of videos and pictures, and there's tons of stuff on there. We come back after every event with just hard drives after hard drives of videos and pictures, and you could scroll through for hours. There's some cool shots. When Le Mans, Paul? When Le Mans?
Yeah, well, when HEX is $200.
Yeah,
because it costs
I think we
a
answered
lot
that
of
earlier.
money.
Yeah.
I'd go tomorrow. Absolutely, not a problem. Let's do it.
We all would. Yeah, we all would. Definitely.
Let's do it.
As Richard would say, you do the work, everyone. You do the work, get HEX to $200, and we'll get Le Mans on Top Cat for you.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, we'll make it happen. Yeah, we've been to Le Mans. We used to do the 24-hour go-kart in there. And we also back in the day with Cromwell, when his lad was racing, you did the Petite Le Mans, didn't you, in the Corvette?
We took a C5 Corvette to
it's a special place. So I think we'd all go and do an entry tomorrow if we had the funds to do it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Wind documentary. Yeah, they said November sometime. Sounds like 2 weeks or into November. It sounds like it's the timeline appears.
Yeah.
100%. Somebody said furry dice. Any furry dice in the cars? I doubt it. They probably don't help you win the race. And I don't. Is there any? That's a good question though. Is there any good luck charms? Do you have any things that drivers put in the cars that that for superstition or anything?
I think you'd have to ask each.
Just warm tires.
Yeah, I think you'd have to ask each individual driver. I think we all have things. I personally have something that my nan gave me before she passed away that I always have on when I'm racing. And I think we all have our own sort of rituals. Some people listen to music. Some people want to get in the car and just get in the zone for a while. I think this is where people like Paul are very special, and Darren, is they know what makes drivers tick, and they know when to leave you alone or when to get you in the car early to get you settled in. Some drivers are more nervous than others. I think most drivers do something, whether they wear odd socks or whether they do something. I say for me, it's just a small thing that my nan gave me before she passed away, and I've always had it with me. It's just something we do. I think there always is a little bit of superstition with any race driver. I think we all believe that luck plays a part. No lucky pants for me, Dan. All my pants are lucky.
Hey, they must be. So far, you all have been winning pretty hard, and it's nice to meet you all too. I think it's really fun to when you have people who are doing stuff like this, especially across disciplines, across sports, across things outside of the streaming world and outside of the digital world and Twitter and stuff. When you actually connect with people who are making this stuff happen across the world, and in this case, for me at least, it's really cool to see all the stuff happening and going through the photos and just. Like I said, I want to come visit now. I want to go to see a race, and you got me amped for it. And I'm sure you got a lot of people in the chat and online when people see the interview amped for it too.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for having us on, Max, and thank you for doing all the things that you're doing almost every day. I'm gonna
have to slow down eventually, but definitely.
There's a lot of people out there
old.
that have sadly gone quiet, but there's some of you out there that are pushing your content out all the time, and that is just so valuable for us.
This is the best time to do it. It's the best time to do it to me. It's easy in a bull run to do it, but if you're out there putting the good word out, you're still having a good attitude, you still got your head up in a bear market. That's what you need to be doing. Do the hard thing. That's what I always have on my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So huge respect for that, Max. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Well, Big Paul, Jensen, Cromwell, any final words? Where can people see this stuff? Where is there Twitter accounts? You all have Twitter? Do you have YouTube? Where can people see pictures and watch races and stuff?
there's obviously GT Cup channel on YouTube is where all the races are broadcast live, and you can go back and watch stuff historically as well. I think all of us have a presence on different socials. Obviously, Top Cats Racing has got the race team as well, and just looking forward to the documentary now. People to get involved in that and to see what we've done this year and what we want to do next year. Very exciting. That will be pushed out on all the different platforms in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, there's plenty of ways to get in touch with us.
Awesome. Well, have a good rest of your evening and a good weekend. I guess tomorrow we'll start getting into it, but it sounds like you're working 24/7 on the cars. I don't know if you take much breaks. So you're having a lot of fun out there, it looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's off season, so it's what we call silly season. I think we're busier now than we are during the racing year, and especially with us trying to get to put a plan together for the year. What cars, what drivers? We're busy. Yeah, we're very busy getting ready at the moment. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen, I won't take any more of your time. Thanks again for coming on, and everyone go out and follow the socials. Look at all the content coming out. Follow the races. Make a trip over sometime. Like I said, it sounds like they treat Hexicans pretty well. I'm certainly thinking more about it now, and I'd like to travel more in 2023. So that may be one of the trips as well. So we are out.